and I will show you that Rabin works. So there's this, for those of you who know about the chunkers in IPFS, you can take a, actually, I don't need both of these. Too many mics. When you add something, you can specify a specific chunker, and what that does is it chooses a different way to split a file and create a layout. And normal, the naive chunker just splits by size, which is really dumb. Rabin is a Rabin fingerprinting-based algorithm that chunks smartly to try and cause as much of two different versions of a file to deduplicate. Meaning, if you have two large files, if you have one large file and you create an insertion somewhere, and so now you've like grown the file somewhere and created a new version. If you add it to IPFS again, you'll create two different hashes. But ideally, you would deduplicate as much as possible of the file because only one insertion changed. If you did it in the naive way with a size-based chunking, then the first part of the file would be the same, but the moment there's an insertion, the rest would be all different. And so you wouldn't deduplicate all of the other stuff. So the way that Rabin works is it tries to magically, can explain that offline, align chunking boundaries using crypto to make sure that only the insertion would only maybe cause 2 or 3 chunks to be different, but then the rest of the file would be deduplicated. This has been a feature that's been in IPFS for a long time, and people wondered, like, hey, is this actually working? So turns out that when you use Rabin with FlatFS, the old version of creating all the different objects in the data store, that'd be pretty expensive, and so it would be extremely slow, so people just didn't want to use it. But now that we have Badger, this can be really, really fast, basically as fast as the normal chunking. And so I made a tool called IPFS Bench Add Options to just show the quality. And it's a simple Go tool. You can find it on GitHub. And what it does is that it pumps out, once you run it, it will create a different repo with different configuration, so Badger or whatever. And then it would run add commands with the specified chunker and splitter and so on, just so that we can see what the effects on the repo are, the difference in runtime and all that kind of stuff. And it'll spit out this like report thing. So this report is, here's like saying, hey, it ran on this time. This is like how big it turned out to be. This is, it took 42 seconds. This is like the normal size-based thing. And here's Rabin. So it was a bit slower, I guess 3 or 4x slower, but the size, where is it? Yeah, 2.1 gigs, here's the size. So that gives you an idea of the dedup. And so what is the data set? The data set is all of the talks that I have in Keynote, which have a ton of embedded images, and they're all over the place. But it deduplicated all of them. So the original data set is 8 gigs. The size chunk thing is 7 point something, so it's a little bit of dedup. And then the Rabin fingerprinting-based one drops it down to 2 gigs. So this shows that in package managers, this would be awesome. So there you go, it works.